Hey, it's Jerome, and we got a new closet. I'm sorry that I'm alone and that I sound weird. Someone gave me COVID. I'm pretty sure it was an Uber driver that was coughing and not wearing a mask. I rolled down the window after I realized I was in trouble, but it was too late. Next time, I will have to carry a mask or tuck and roll. I don't know, one or the other. Anyway, let's talk about closets. So, I personally didn't know that we needed a new closet until we got a new closet. Our 1911 home has a small closet off the primary bedroom that is pretty typical for the era. It's kind of tucked in under a dormer or something, so it has an irregular shape and a window. Someone at some point built in some posts, installed 2 bars for hanging clothes, and installed a shelf for stacking clothes. And we are grateful to them for their work, but we couldn't keep our clothes organized in that system. I mean, just look at that pile of clothes on the shelf. We could never find things we wanted to find them. Plus, the materials that were in there clearly needed updating. And also, the clothes blocked the window and were visible through the window, which I did not love. Okay, now I have to say that one thing that would have cost $0 and helped with that sense of disorganization would have been for us to get rid of the clothes that we don't wear. But my husband, who I love, didn't want to do that, which is something that I just cannot understand. It's fine. But like literally, if we keep up with the same habits that we have now, then we'll just have a new closet with the same problems. We have to stop bringing in new clothes without removing old clothes. We have to stop accepting clothes from employers and friends if we're not going to wear them. And we can't keep bringing in new stuff without getting rid of the old stuff. Honestly, if you're unwilling to get rid of the old, then you have to stop bringing in the new. And that is that on that. Okay, the design process. This was fun. Designing our closet layout was super easy because we let a professional from the Container Store do it. I really recommend going there because the cost of the design services are built into the cost of the materials. So it feels like you're getting them for free. You're not. That feeling is psychological, but it feels good. So enjoy it. We came in with a few photos of the closet, but really the more you bring in, the better. For instance, the designer wanted to know how high the baseboards were, and we had no idea. I still have no idea. She wanted to know how far into the closet you could go before the ceiling started to slope, and we definitely did not measure that. That's some math stuff. But we were really lucky because even though the measurements that we brought in were insufficient, our closet is pretty typical for the area, so she was able to make some assumptions based on previous experience. So let's talk preparation. As always, preparation is key. For this project, we removed the old post, shelf, and rods. My husband and mother-in-law did all of this work. Honestly, husbands and mother-in-laws are amazing. I highly recommend that you get at least one. I'd probably get 2 or 3 if I could. Anyway, they spackled over all the holes left by the previous shelves and rods, but ran into trouble when it was time to paint. If you look closely, you can see that the paint was coming off the walls. They peeled that off and spackled over it, but later on when they painted over those parts, the paint peeled off with the roller. We guessed that maybe there was some insulation or moisture concerns in that room that caused that to happen, but we honestly have no idea. Maybe it was the type of paint that they used back in the day. Literally unsure. We were on a deadline, so they just painted over things as well as they could, and now we have some slight imperfections that we are going to call character. Installation. Look, the installation of this new closet was super smooth. We purchased installation through the Container Store for an additional fee. The dude showed up a little early and got right to work. What we really liked about them doing the installation is that we knew our measurements were off. There is no way that we drew and brought into the store a design that the designer could use to make everything perfect. But their installer was able to cut the pieces on site. And apparently, he had to cut almost every piece. And that's what made it work. If we had tried to do that ourselves, it would have been terrible. And I would have been really unhappy with the result. And I do not like to be unhappy. Thankfully, the finished product is something that we are really, really, really happy with. In fact, the closet looks so good that Erin was finally willing to get rid of clothes that didn't work. So in this case, having a more organized space has led to us having a more organized life, which I love for me. It's also really nice to have all the light in from that window. We're not hanging out in there or anything, but it feels very homey and it feels very custom. And it definitely feels more expensive than it actually is. All told, we spent around $1,700 on this closet. $1,500 of that went to the Container Store. We hit them up during a 30% off sale, so be sure to look out for one of those. I bill out volunteer hours at $24 an hour, and my husband and his mom put maybe a half day in of like prepping the space for installation. I hope that this helps you prepare for updates to your home. And honestly, I would really love to hear about all of your projects in the comments because I'm always looking for new ideas. Thanks a lot, everybody. Talk to you soon.